What do we have here? From nationalfile.com. And I've seen this elsewhere, but it keeps coming into my orbit, so to speak. So it's time to talk about it. And this is actually from March the 8th. So it's been about a week ago. But it keeps coming back, and I'm like, okay, it's time to talk about this. Busted CDC inflated COVID death numbers, accused of violating federal law. Again, accused. This has not been settled in a court of law. The following information may not be true. It's just an article I'm going to read to you. While Steven is sending me text messages. What we got here, Steven? Suck. I can't. From Spaceballs. Dump. Sir, she's gone from dump to rise. Damn. Or has she gone from rise to dump? Anyways, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, stands accused, again, it's just accusation, of violating federal law, which I looked. It absolutely is a violation of federal law. It's obvious when I read this to you, because I've known this for a while. By inflating coronavirus fatality numbers, according to stunning information obtained by National File. Now, granted, some of this information, the big key things, I already presented to you way early on last year, such as, hey, they're changing the system of determining whether someone has a virus compared to every time they did this in the past. They are allowing doctors to just say, well, you have symptoms? Okay, you have it. They've never done that before. This is very strange. I went back and looked at Zika virus. Here's the guidelines. Very clearly. If I think the person has it, can I say it? No. If they've been around people that had Zika virus, can I say it? No. Only a positive test, you can say it. Coronavirus comes out, scratch all that. You can say it if you feel like it. Matter of fact, they even encouraged it. Anyways, CDC illegally inflated, against the accusation, this COVID fatality numbers by at least 1,600% as the 2020 presidential election played out, according to a study published by the Public Health Initiative of the Institute for Pure and Applied Knowledge. The study, noted as COVID-19 Data Collection, Comorbidity, and Federal Law, a historical retrospective, was authored by Henry Ely, Michael McEvoy, Daniel Chong, John Nowicki, Monica Saba, Sandeep Gupta, David White, James Gordon, Daniel Simon, and Paul Anderson. And it says, here's the research link if you'd like to read the research paper. The CDC is now legally requiring red-blooded Americans to wear face masks on all public transportation as globalists try to push the concept of double masking on the populace. Since the election, the World Health Organization admits the PCR tests are not totally reliable on the first try, and a second test might be needed. This corresponds with the CDC's quiet admission that it blended viral and antibody test results for its case numbers, and that people can test positive on an antibody test if they have antibodies from a family of viruses that cause the common cold. So not necessarily COVID. Hospitals in Florida, for example, had so many accuracy complications that Orlando Health had to admit that its 9.4% positivity rate got recorded at 98%. And again, I did a video on this when that happened. And there was another one, and another one. I think all 2 or 3 of them were in Florida. Just in Florida where that was happening. So the groundbreaking peer-reviewed research asserts that the CDC willfully violated multiple federal laws, including the Information Quality Act, Paperwork Reduction Act, and Administrative Procedures Act at minimum. Publishing Journal, Institute for Pure and Applied Knowledge, Public Health Policy Initiative. Most notably, the CDC illegally enacted new rules for data collection and reporting exclusively for COVID-19 that resulted in a 1,600% inflation of current COVID-19 fatality totals. The research demonstrates that the CDC failed to apply for mandatory federal oversight and failed to open a mandatory period for public scientific comment in both instances, as is required by federal law. I told you this all in advance. Old Snip. I even went against my friends Bix, Weir, and Cliff High on this. both instances as required by federal law before enacting new rules for data collection and reporting. The CDC is required to be in full compliance with all federal laws, even during emergency situations. That's right. The laws don't take breaks because of an emergency. The research asserts that CDC willfully compromised the accuracy and integrity of all COVID-19 case and fatality data from the onset of this crisis in order to fraudulently inflate case and fatality data, stated all concerned citizens. Again, this is their claim. It's not my claim. For all intents and purposes, maybe we should treat this whole thing like this is fake news I'm reading you. You know, until proven true in a court of law. So let's just look for a second, because I think it was approximately 350,000 people died by the end of 2020 because of COVID. Again, they were listing everything as COVID, but whatever. So 1,600%, that'll be 16 times. So that would also mean 350,000 divided by 16 would be 21,875, which would mean, if their numbers are right, and that at least 1,600% wrong, meaning it's at least 16 times wrong in their view. Could be more. I'm giving you the best case scenario. That's only 21,875 deaths. Businesses shut down, people out of jobs, wear a mask everywhere, getting the vaccine, oh my God. For 21,000 deaths. Again, according to their research. And I don't have any reason to believe that their research is wrong or blah, blah, blah. And anybody who questioned this stuff was getting channels shut down, social media accounts shut down. You say anything up, even a group, remember the group of doctors who were out doing the podium, they're in front of the podium, voicing their concerns about this. The black lady, she had a real strong accent from like one of these African countries. They tried to go after her and shut her down. They shut her channel down. Anybody who played the video of them giving their opinion as medical professional doctors got their channel shut down. Videos removed. No. YouTube said, no. If it doesn't come from the CDC or the World Health Organization, we don't want any part of it. Yeah, but these are certified, trained, professional, medical professional doctors. No. CDC and World Health Organization only. Thanks. And then I even had to bring you some, CDC. Oh, look at this. Here's some news from the CDC themselves. They're now admitting blah, 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 blah. Do a little video. No. Thanks, because YouTube said they'll ban you if you're not quoting from the CDC. So thank God the CDC I'm quoting from, here it is. You know, and I do a video about it. Now that the election's over and everything up. Again, where's the scary coronavirus death numbers? Let me go to CNN real quick. Because when Donald Trump was president, he was, everywhere you went. It's all over the front page of there. I'm on the front page right now. The new stimulus plan could affect your 2020 taxes. Here's how. What Americans need to know about the stimulus. Stunning images show huge crowds at beaches and restaurants as spring break begins. Ted Cruz wants to meet with Marine Corps commander. Where's the super duper? Oh, where we go. Here it is. COVID-19, 530K U.S. deaths. Not at the front top, but we'll click on it. In all fairness, they got it on there. It's listed. Since January 2020, the disease has spread to each state and nearly every territory. Last updated March 15th. COVID-19 has killed at least 535,000 and infected about 29.5 million in the United States. So, again, I thought by the end of the year it was only 350,000 or thereabouts. So are you telling me in the last 2 months or so, under Biden's watch, Biden's in charge, isn't that how that works? Biden, he's letting people die. He's like, there's kids in cages now. There's kids in cages at the border. Biden. What about all that? Where are those liberal friends of yours now? Complete silence. Crickets. So anyways, the most important thing here, because here's the thing, well, why is, again, they changed their ticker on TV to, vaccine count. Why would they still post the death count on the website? Well, to let you know there's still a problem. You need to go get that vaccine. You don't want to be one of those people who died from it, do you? But I just showed you, from the study anyways, 1,600% wrong. That's 16 times. They included everything you could imagine in these death counts. And again, back on the article, one of the big things, here it is. On March 24th, this is last year, The CDC published the NVSS COVID-19 Alert number 2. And again, I read this to you. Alert 1 and Alert 2, I read it to you because I'm showing you how they're doing this. They're manipulating stuff. That document instructing medical examiners, coroners, and physicians to de-emphasize underlying causes of death, also referred to as pre-existing conditions or comorbidities, by recording them in Part 2 rather than Part 1 of the death certificate, as the underlying cause of death are expected to result in COVID-19 being the underlying cause of death more often than not. This was a major rule change for death certificate reporting from the CDC's 2003 Coroner's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting and Physician's Handbook on Medical Certification of Death, which have instructed death reporting professionals nationwide to report underlying conditions in Part 1 for the previous 17 years. This certification of death, which have instructed death reporting professionals nationwide to report underlying conditions in Part 1 for 17 years, this single change resulted in a significant inflation of COVID-19 fatalities by instructing that COVID-19 be listed on Part 1 of death certificates as a definitive cause of death regardless of confirmatory evidence, rather than listed as in Part 2 as a contributor to death. This research draws attention to this key distinction, as it had led to a significant inflation in COVID fatality totals. By the researchers' estimates, COVID-19 recorded fatalities are inflated nationwide by as much as 1,600% above what they would have been if the CDC used the simple 2003 handbooks like they've been doing for 17 years. They changed it for COVID-19, and I caught it immediately and did a video to share it with you. Hey guys, I just had a thought that I want to go back and look at another quote-unquote pandemic. I found Zika, 2010 I think, and I found the guidelines, and they're completely opposite of COVID. And as a matter of fact, I've looked up other ones, and they're opposite too. They're all the same, except for COVID. Isn't that amazing? So everything was being listed as COVID, including the current crap you're seeing now, 539,000, because the guidelines are still in play. They haven't changed them. And everyone's rushing out to go get a shot. People, older people than me, I know, are getting the shot, and I cannot believe it. I'm like, my mind is blown that people are actually doing this. Seriously. All on inflated numbers. All on inflated numbers. This is not something that even a liberal can argue with. The CDC changed the guidelines. I did videos showing you, copy, paste, photo, picture. Here's the link. Click the link. It's right there, cdc.gov. It's all right there, black and white. Good day, sir. So this is what happened to the whole global economy over potentially 21,000 deaths in America anyways. That's been inflated, according to this data, 16 times. And now, of course, it's 500,000 because it just keeps going. So, anyways, just thought I'd share that tidbit of information with you. Take care.